Laura Bailey.
And I'm Dante Williams. Welcome to Free to Be.
When was the last time you really thought about your freedom? Odds are you didn't think about it this morning when you were deciding what to wear to school, or when you and your friends decided to see a particular movie last weekend. But whether you think about it or not, freedom is something that we as Americans live every day.
Yeah, but what does freedom mean to you? Is it having control over your own life? Is it the right to be yourself? To be able to dress and walk and talk the way you choose? Or is it the ability to speak your mind without fear of people talking about you or being harassed? Or to have a say in the world around you? Just to choose your own career, your future, your destiny.
As you probably know, freedom didn't just happen to us. It's a gift, a privilege, and yeah, freedom has a cost. We've all been told that generations of people have fought and died so that we could live free. But most of us will admit that we sometimes take our freedom, our way of life, for granted.
Now, that's because we never known anything else. We see things from our one perspective, our own point of reference. We rarely get to see that other side.
Well, but think about this. In our everyday world of cell phones, it's estimated that almost half the world's population has never even used a phone. While the average American buys a new car every 3 years, most people around the world use bicycles, or their feet as their main mode of transportation. Imagine life without running water or well-stocked grocery stores. Did you know that while the average American salary is over $36,000 a year, over 1 billion people on this earth fight to live on less than $1 a day? That's just $365 a year. That's a prom dress or a small TV.
Kind of boggles your mind, doesn't it? I mean, what is it that makes America so different from the rest of the world? How come we've put men on the moon 6 times and no one else has? Why is it that so many achievements have changed the world, like the light bulb, the automobile, the television, all invented by Americans? I mean, what makes us so special, after all?
Well, America's a pretty amazing experiment when you think about it. I mean, we're a country of immigrants made up of races, cultures, and backgrounds of every type. To millions of people around the world, America offers opportunity, prosperity, hope, freedom, democracy, ideas that were pretty unheard of just a few hundred years ago. It's a fact that more people have immigrated to the United States than to all other developed countries in the world combined.
Yet even in a country that sets the standard for freedom and opportunity around the world, mistakes can and have been made along the way. Slavery, persecution, and discrimination are unfortunately also a part of our nation's history. Now, this country was founded by imperfect men, setting ideals higher than even they could reach. The unique thing about America is that it's always aspired to be greater than it is. That's why Americans like you and me are still trying to define what freedom means today.
This program is not about politics. It's not a test and no one's being asked to join anything. What we are asking you to do is to think. Think about the freedoms you have and where they came from, and understand your role in protecting freedom for future generations.
We're going to take a first-hand look at what it's like to live in other parts of the world. We'll talk to some Americans who've made incredible sacrifices in the name of freedom. Now, we'll also look at how the U.S. has become the most prosperous and powerful nation in the world by the very ability of every individual, that's you and me, to freely pursue our dreams.
We recently took to the streets to ask people just like you what freedom meant to them. We got some pretty interesting answers.
Freedom? Not answering to any government, anarchy all the way.
Freedom's a powerful word there. What that means to me is be able to express myself, be able to say what I want and go where I like, as long as it's not hurting others.
Having the ability to pick a side and not being forced, not being set down and told you have to make this choice.
I think freedom to me would be the freedom to worship who we want to worship, believe what we want to believe.
Patriotism to me is simply just being proud of the country you live in and doing what you can just a little bit to improve your life and everyone else's life who lives in that country.
Is it cool to be patriotic? That's a tricky question because some people go about being patriotic in a totally wrong way. Like when, I guess, 9/11 stuff happened and they started burning down mosques and hurting anybody that looked, that fit the description, and that's not patriotic at all, regardless of what they think.
A patriot is somebody who believes in the ideals that their country brings forth. Whether the country lives up to that or not, well, that is up to the motivation of people who are patriotic.
Anybody can be a patriot, and patriotism is just a love for your country.
To me, Patriotism is loving your country so much that you're willing to die for it.
If you take too far the patriotic side, which is believing in country over principles, that's what I don't agree with.
Patriotism to me is fighting for what you believe in, fighting for the ideals that were established within the country, and staying true and loyal to the country.
I was born in Malawi, and I left my parents to come to the United States in 2001.
I came over with my mom, a family that I had. We decided to leave Russia.
Well, I was born in New Zealand, and my family are from New Zealand. And it's a beautiful country, but the economy is not very good.
The reason why I decided to come here is simply because of the opportunity that I'll get, first of all, to pursue my education and to pursue my, like my dreams.
My mom pretty much made a decision, and she, as a parent, felt that I will have better and bigger opportunities living somewhere else, and will be able to succeed in something somewhere else that I'm allowed to think for myself and allowed to be who I am.
It's so much easier to get a job here and to keep the job and to actually make a lot of money than it is in New Zealand. A lot of people in New Zealand just end up on welfare or they don't succeed.
The United States, is a very rich country as opposed to Malawi. I mean, there are lots of opportunities here for people to pursue their goals as long as they're, they wanna go somewhere.
I had a Coke can for 5 years. Someone gave me as a present a Coke can, and I left that Coke can in my little bar that I had with all the little caps and little posts and little postages that came from the United States. Even the wrappers from the gum. We used to keep those things, the Donald Duck wrappers, they had little stories on them, little characters, they called cartoons, we kept all these things, and we were show off in front of our friends. Like, hey, look at these, look at these little wrappers that I've got. We would sit down trying to figure out what it says on those little wrappers, because, they were in English and we didn't know English.
It took about a year, and we finally got to have our interviews at the American Embassy, and we passed, and we got to come here after a long time and a lot of money.
In the U.S., there is a chance for me, with hard work, to achieve my dreams.
I saw freedom. I saw what it looks like, and I wanted to taste it. And since I never got to taste it in my little Coke can, I figured I'll come all the way here and taste the real thing.
This is America. Over 3.5 million square miles of forest, desert, mountains, plains, valleys, and coastline. Nearly 300 million people in tens of thousands of cities and towns in 50 states. A nation of diverse culture, religion, customs, and traditions. The greatest industrial, technological, military, and economic power in the history of civilization.
Every 25 seconds, a person from another country comes to the United States to live. More than 40 million since 1820. Immigrants choose to come for a variety of reasons, but most come for opportunity, hope, freedom of expression, to escape poverty, oppression, or religious persecution, and to make better lives for themselves and their children.
My parents are immigrants from Mexico. They came into the United States, and they worked starting from the bottom all the way up to the top, and my parents have always showed me the meaning of hard work. I'm proud to be an American because I support my country. I have a direct relation to my country. I'm here to make a difference.
I do love the United States because we do have all the freedoms, because not until you realize that you go out of the country. Just for instance, when I was in Saudi Arabia, and you see the women over there walking around with only their eyes are exposed. Their dresses go all the way to the floor. You cannot see their feet, and they have to walk so many steps behind the male. The female wasn't allowed to talk unless spoken to. Here we have our choice of, what religious denomination we want to, what church we want to go to, what religious we want to practice. Over there, you don't have any options.
We went to Romania. It was so cold in Romania. We didn't have jackets big enough. The thing that touched me the most was to see a 4-year-old begging for food with no shoes on. His feet looked like little red tomatoes. If our kids could experience for a day what those kids go through every day, it would change the youth in America, without a doubt.
you want something to be there, you got to preserve it, protect it, and take care of it.
I look at it as like a living document. You can write something out, and that's the framework. But then what happens each and every day, that framework is built upon.
Make a difference. Everyone makes a difference, no matter how small.
The great part of living in America is that you do have that right to say, you know, I really don't care about what is going on, and it's not my business. You know, that's one of the liberties that we have in this country, and I'm here to defend that.
Building such a nation, a beacon of hope for so many, does not come without a cost. Over 1 million Americans, most of them young people like you and me, have paid the ultimate price for freedom.
I joined the Air Force when I was 17, still in high school, because if you waited till you were 18, they drafted you and you had no choice of what to do. I flew 48 missions.
As far as aircraft coming back, we didn't have too many of them.
The government said they needed me, like everybody else. Everybody was in World War II, whether you're in uniform or otherwise. Every effort of every man, woman, and child was in to that war effort because it's necessary. It took everything that we had to fight that war. It was so big, World War. It really was a World War. But I went because, of course, my love for my country. It wasn't hard to be patriotic then. I finished 14 missions. And I got shot down.
It come D-Day, and we jumped. And so we was there, we was there 5 days before they captured us. And they lined us up beside the building, and I thought they was gonna shoot us, but they didn't.
I guess the thing that sustains you, and when you feel like, surely I'm not gonna live through this, is you think about, you love your country, and you think about what a great place it is, and you think more so that way when you leave it and you go somewhere else and see how all these other countries live.
When the people control the government, that's freedom. And if the government controls the people, that's not freedom.
The value of our democracy, it just cannot be bought. It can't be sold, but it can be lost. Take a good look at yourself when you're young and make sure you're doing the right thing.
You tell them exactly how you feel about freedom.
Kind of ironic, isn't it? That so many gave so much so that we could debate, among other things, the justification for even going to war. But that is the way of freedom. It allows us to look at ourselves in ways that few can. It allows us to ask questions, raise objections, and challenge each other. And through all of the shouting, freedom never falters. That's the beauty of it. That's the perfection and design of it.
I'm very fortunate because, you know, people that are born in other countries don't have the same rights that I do and probably will never have them.
I feel very fortunate to be an American, to have the freedoms that we have, the opportunities that we have.
Way back when my heart was so afraid, you told me words that would always take the pain away. Baby, you'll be okay, you will be fine, I will be always by
said that it takes a reason for people to think about their freedom instead of consciously thinking about it all the time.
The best way to preserve a freedom is to have an active voice.
Especially the younger crowd, that they need to speak up and they have a chance to go vote,
I think the most important thing we can do to preserve freedom is to support one another.
Speak your voice, make it heard. You know, it takes an extra effort to do that. You know, you need to be involved with your council and your city and just be vocal and be aware of what's going on around the world. The worst thing we can do is, you know, let other people run it for us. If we don't like the way it is, we have to stand up and do something about it.
The message is pretty simple. Very soon, you and I will run this country. We will elect our leaders. We will vote or not vote. We will participate or not participate. We will serve or not serve. Whatever we choose to do or not to do, one thing is certain. We will shape the future of this nation.
America is our property. It's our country to keep, yours and mine. That's a big responsibility, but it's not one we'll face alone. We have all those who have come before to guide us. There are over 1 million American lives given in the name of freedom.
If you listen closely, you can almost hear their voices, asking us to be bold, be ourselves, be involved, and most of all, be free.